it for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here on the Sick Podcast Network. He is Pierre McGuire. I'm Jimmy Murphy, and we are once again, and for the final time during his amazing trip on what Pierre just called in an interview he just did, a pilgrimage for us. It's been such an honor to be here. We are again at the Harp in downtown Belfast. If you are in the area, you're sitting in your hotel, taking a little break, get rid of that break and come on down and join us here and watch some hockey podcast here and enjoy a nice pint of Guinness. Pierre, is it one of the better pints of Guinness you've had?
I'm going with a clear Guinness.
That's the clear Guinness right now. Well, we have an important dinner after this. Robert Fitzpatrick, the owner of the Belfast Giants, has been kind enough to invite us to an American Thanksgiving dinner since, of course, it is Thanksgiving over in your adopted native land and my native land. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone over the United States and any Americans celebrating anywhere all over the world. Pierre, tons of hockey. We're going to get to a bit of it right now because we do have a heavy guest lineup. We've got a fellow Minuteman in the house right now.
He's not heavy.
I said heavy guest lineup.
I know, but I'm reading it the other way.
Yes. You're
He's actually in shape.
Yeah, I know.
He knows how to skate.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch him play?
I don't know who you're talking about because I don't see anybody heavy here, wise guy.
That's good. I watched him play.
And one of our guests is already here waiting to come on. And of course, that is former UMass Minuteman hockey player James Marcoux, and also the assistant coach of Harvard men's hockey, who is here to play in the Friendship Four. We'll also be joined by legendary BU broadcaster Bernie Corbett, who's got so many stories. He is a character. He is. Legendary. And he's he's like me. He always wears the scally cap. It's one of his trademarks as well. We have Steve Burke, who has organized. He created a thing called Belfast Boston. And what he does every year, I think he said 7 years. He'll correct me if I'm wrong when he gets here. They bring over, I think, an age group of like 7 or 8 year olds to early teens from Massachusetts, from the Boston area, hockey players. And then they combine them on teams with Belfast kids playing hockey here. And they will be playing in the intermissions tomorrow in the first set of games of the Friendship Four. And then we've got, hopefully, he's not here yet, but I'm really looking forward to meeting him if he makes it here. The legendary Willie Jack is joining us. Yes,
he's the proprietor of this establishment.
This and about 5 other ones around here.
He owns downtown Belfast.
He does. It's something, man. So we're looking forward to that. He actually just got a prestigious award called an MBE from the British Empire for all the work he's done to kind of unite this city and help the economy. So looking forward to meeting him because, man, what a bar this is. I think before we get off the air today, Pierre, too, we'll show the kids here, but I also want the viewers to see what we've been out looking as we broadcast every day. This is one of the best pubs I've ever been in.
I said it to you the first time we started. See those little quadrangles by the bar?
Mm-hmm.
I never see those in the United States or Canada. I think they're cool. And then if you look at all the seating is set up 4 seats for everybody. So you know what I mean? Like get your group and you kind of
little nooks. I like it.
Nobody gets in trouble.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a good kind of a
Well, they get in trouble. They just keep it private.
No, but you know what I mean. There's just no trouble. I've been coming here a long time, not Belfast, but Ireland a long time. I've never seen any trouble in any establishment.
Yeah.
I have seen them in North America, though.
Yes, yeah. You had to jinx us, huh?
No, I'm not jinxing. I'll tell you one thing that I caught from the National Hockey League last night. How does Ottawa go into San Jose, get 11 shots and win the game? Now, I'm going to say one thing. I'm so proud of Gaudette. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
Adam Gaudette's a kid who was drafted by Vancouver. When I was working in Ottawa the first time, our staff, not just me, our staff brought him in.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things I kept begging the coach and the staff, don't play him as a depth player. Play him as a first or second line player. Make sure he's on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to defend the lead.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to be on the ice at the end of a period in a 1-goal game.
Yep.
You need him to get points. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And look at the guy now. He's on the line with Stützle and Tkachuk, and they're ripping up. They won a game last night with 11 shots on goal on the road.
I love that you said that too, Pierre. But that's something actually we've identified with other teams this season is when coaches try to utilize a player and put him in a spot where he's just not meant to be. Let a player be who he is. And utilize his skills properly. Don't try to make him do other things he's not used to. Of course, you want to make him a better defensive player if you can, but let the guy be himself out there.
Well, he needs to, because he's a Hobie Baker winner out of Northeastern. And I can tell you right now, he's larger than life on campus on Huntington Avenue. He's larger than life.
It's
and
great.
he deserves to be.
Yeah.
I know the work he's put into.
I'm happy for his success
I'm
right
thrilled
now,
for
Pierre.
this kid. I really
And
am.
you know, it's interesting you talk about that interesting tidbit there. They only get 11 shots and win in San Jose. I was thinking, Pierre, as we were talking about a lot of the hockey stuff at breakfast today with the Lord Mayor of Belfast now, Mr. Hockey's commissioner, Steve Metcalf. And, you know, as we're just talking about the different things that are happening, it's just such a strange year. There's so much up and down. There's so many odd little things.
Dallas right now.
Yeah. The Dallas Stars, I looked at it, have lost 2 games in the last 2 weeks by a combined score, if you put them together, of 10 goals. 2 5-goal deficits. I mean, who would have thought that?
How about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were a juggernaut for the last 8 games? They were 7-1. They go into South Florida and they get steamrolled by a team that had lost 4 straight, the Florida Panthers.
What?
It's to your point. I agree with you. I think it's a really salient point, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I've never seen so much unpredictability.
Yep.
In the
That's
National
a
Hockey
perfect word
League.
to
It's
go with
so
the parity as well.
Yeah, there's parity. There's been parity since 05
Right.
because of the cap.
Yeah.
But I've never seen so much unpredictability.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll just say this, and you know he's a friend of mine. I consider Lou Lamoriello a really special friend. I've known him a long time, and he's been amazing to me. He's been amazing to our family. When I hear people saying Lou must go and they're booing Lou and Lou fire Lou and all, like, is there any respect anymore anywhere?
No. I'm just plain and simple. No, there isn't. It's unreal. And like we were discussing, we're not going to get in it, but just some of the things we're seeing again on social media. It's like,
Well, you're my social media.
what are
guy.
these people
Thank
talking about?
goodness I
What are
have
they
you.
talking about? Like, do you watch the games? I don't know. Anyhow, I don't want to get into
No,
that. Let's stay
be
positive.
positive.
This is our final episode
Especially
here.
with your guest.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to say is I'm going to get out. You just
Let's
better not
start the
talk about
rotation now.
UMass. Just no UMass. Okay, none.
Yeah.
None.
Okay.
Okay. Talk Harvard. You can talk about maybe a little of his career at UMass, but keep this on the teams that are here, Jimmy. No UMass.
All right. Sounds good.
Coach Carvel, sorry about that.
All right. So we're going to bring the Harvard assistant coach on right now. All right. Mr. James Marcoux joining us here. We had his fellow coach, head coach of Harvard on a couple of weeks ago, Teddy Donato. And sorry, I can't keep that promise. I can't. Go UMass. Go UMass. And go Harvard.
Yeah.
I know you're with Harvard. You have to say that too. But let's go back, though, to that, because I want to kind of get your take on something quick, and then we'll get in everything going on here. When you were at UMass, obviously it wasn't like it is now. You were starting it when I was there. We were winning 1 game a year. When you were there, they were starting to establish themselves. How did it feel to be part of that and kind of propel it to where it is now?
Yeah, no, it's been great to see like the transformation of it. You know, Coach Carvel and Coach Cahoon. I played with for Coach Cahoon. And we had some really good teams, right? You know, John Quick and those guys went to the NCAA tournament, and I think it's important to note like the history of the program, like you said, where it's come from and where it is now. But yeah, Coach Carvel's done an amazing job just kind of implementing a culture, and some of the players that have went through there, they've done a really good job developing them for the NHL as well. But yeah, it was some tough times at the start for us, when I went back as a volunteer. But, I think the 5-year process has been, pretty cool to watch and see.
Right. What's it like going back there, too, with Harvard and playing in the Mullins Center?
That was a nice game. A little bit of, emotions going back and seeing the old stomping grounds, right?
Did you get Antonio's?
Always some Antonio's chicken bacon ranch.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
But let's talk about Harvard right now. You guys must be so psyched to be here. And by the way, I really love that you guys did the Scally Cap thing going. It's got the little Harvard emblem on the back there.
Odie, our equipment manager.
Zodi, it was his idea?
His idea.
I love it.
Getting the hats
because
for us.
if you recall, was it a couple of years back when the Bruins hosted at Fenway again in Winter Classic? The coaching staff did that. Jim Montgomery had it. And it was funny because I'm always wearing one of those myself. And he never really had one. And he said, "This is my first one. Now I look like you, Murph. I'm a leprechaun." So no, but it's great. I love the festive atmosphere that you guys have here. Is this your first time here in Belfast?
No, this is actually my second time. I
wow.
came with volunteer when I was at UMass. Our first year with Carvel and Jared DeMichael, Ben Barr. So we had a lot of fun here.
Great.
Yeah, we kind of had the lay of the land down before I came, so I've been trying to show the guys some of the places that we've been, and this is one of them. The Harp. We came here a lot.
Yeah, and drinking the clear Guinness, right? Yeah, that's right. All right. None of that dark. Yeah, okay. One thing we've talked about with a lot of the coaches that are here, some haven't been here, some have, is just seeing the sites and sort of, and also seeing the peace wall and understanding what this city has been through and how far they've come from the Troubles. So you had already seen that. So I want to ask you, what was it like? You guys went down and saw that, right?
Yeah.
What was it like seeing the faces of those that are seeing it for the first time and seeing how they right away understand what it means?
Yeah, no, we did the tour yesterday, so it was good for our guys to see kind of everything, and it opens your eyes quite a bit coming from the U.S. and some of our guys are from Europe and Canada, but it's pretty cool to see they take a step back and they realize kind of the conflicts that have been going on over here. So, it's definitely something they'll take with them and they'll remember. And I'm sure some of them will use it for some of their studies at Harvard, right? I know some of them are using this trip as kind of a academic resource for them in school as well. So it's cool to see some of the guys are, interested in different things, but they're all kind of open their eyes to maybe something they didn't realize before.
Yeah. Not to make a pun here, but we've been harping on the whole bonding situation, what it can do for a team.
Yeah.
A lot of teams have come here and then gone on and had some success right away, kind of turned their seasons around. Are you looking for that? Are you seeing it happening as you're here? Are you seeing the bonding going on?
Yeah, definitely. I think some of the boys are coming out of their shells a little bit. We spent the day in Dublin, which was nice. And, in our league.
Some of them came by the Harry Lemon to see us.
Yep. Yeah, but they had a good
They were
time.
drinking orange juice.
In our league, we do some overnight road trips, but we don't get to spend a ton of time in hotels, which is nice.
Right.
But this kind of road trip can help, boost the morale of the team. And some of the guys are just, they're having a good time. They're telling funny stories. And hopefully it could springboard us, become a tighter group, really tight group to begin with. But some of the challenges that you go through when you're on the road and kind of in hotels and meals and we're far away from home, so they're all going through it together. But it's been hilarious.
And I take it you guys, I know a lot of teams, I imagine are you going to have an American Thanksgiving dinner for the team today?
Yeah, we had one last night.
So okay, so you did yours last night. Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. Families
probably a better idea, so you're not like this tomorrow for the games. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I guess so. Some of the guys don't want to have the turkey, but it was delicious. Yeah,
that's
a lot
great.
Of the families came, so they guys can enjoy Thanksgiving together with their families.
And what's been your take on the facility where you'd be playing at SEE Arena? I mean, it's a beautiful place, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot better than you think coming in, right? Some of our guys, they don't really know the lay of the land or the landscape of pro hockey, especially over here. And they realize when they get here, there's really good resources for the guys that are playing in Belfast. And I think it'll be pretty packed crowd and the energy and kind of feel like a tournament atmosphere and not just like another game in our league. But yeah, we're looking forward to the game. And I know the atmosphere will get the guys excited even when they start to step on the ice.
We've talked to a couple coaches here about the opportunity that the Belfast Giants provide if a player does decide to come over here. You look right now what's going on with the CHL and NCAA agreement. There could be some players that maybe look at that and say, there's another window for me to continue to play in the pros when maybe they don't have it in North America. It's pretty cool. And they give them a master's degree. If they can earn that here. So
yeah, no, it's I think it definitely opens the guys' eyes. The hockey's really good in a lot of places. Obviously, when you're going through it in college, you think you're going right to the NHL, right? You think you're going to the American League, but there's a lot of other places where, the high-end hockey is going on. And then they can get their education here and get that, master's or whatever they're interested in. But yeah, it's another resource for the guys to use hockey to get something out of it.
You made it to the show yourself with San Jose. You had an amazing All-American career at UMass. What's been your take just on how many more college players are making it to the NHL these days and the opportunities they have now and the way the game has just grown so much?
Yeah, I think just seeing the way the development of college has kind of gone. It's nice to see they're getting more opportunities, in the NHL. And, I think they have to take advantage of the opportunities too once you get there. So I think they've done a good job because of the development from the coaches in college and the resources that are in college and in place with some of these. The programs have, very good, facilities. They have great strength coaches, great, coaches around the team, and they've been allowed to develop once they get their opportunity in the NHL to kind of take advantage of it too.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming on, my friend. Good luck tomorrow. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing I can say. Win or lose, enjoy the experience, And go Minutemen. See you later, buddy. James Marcoux join us here on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network, live from the Heart Bar in Belfast. We unfortunately just got a note from Bernie Corbett. He is not going to be able to make it over. Now,
well, Coach Marcoux handled himself.
After that interview, I don't know how Bernie would follow that.
No, but good job by you. I thought it was great, poignant. What I liked is when you're talking about the master's degree opportunity for a lot of these players. We ran into Bobo Carpenter.
That's right.
Night.
Yep.
He's one of the leadership guys in this team. Won a championship in the East Coast Hockey League.
And he took advantage of that.
He's taking advantage of it now.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to play in the American. This is one thing. I've talked about it before. Everybody says, oh, he's going to the American Hockey. That's not a sin.
No.
The American Hockey League is a hard league to play in.
It is.
There are not that many jobs there.
Yeah.
It's a hard league. You take an American League team and play them in any of these leagues over here, they do a number on them.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
To make the American League is really hard. And I think it's anytime you get paid to play, it's an amazing honor.
Yep.
It's something you work for. They don't just hand out paychecks. See you, Coach. Great job.
Good luck, guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
No, I'm with you. It's a great league there, but I think it's such a good opportunity over here as well. And like we've seen, Pierre, too, just the amount of people that actually know the game now, that it's starting to spread here. And I know we keep saying it, but it's true. It's impressive.
You're not wrong. And you know who deserves a lot of credit? Like Stevie Thornton.
Yep.
Talked about him.
Robert Fitzpatrick.
Deserves a lot of credit. Before him, one of our friends, Doug Christensen, who was playing and coaching over here. You start looking at all the guys that have been through here. All over this league, by the way. It's really impressive.
I see our good friend Adams here from Cara Group Travel. I got to give them credit, Pierre. I know we've been giving them shout-outs all along, but I've never seen them in action do the Friendship 4 and put this on. They have to be probably the busiest people in Belfast right now. Yeah. So props to them for the job they've done. I know it's not over yet. They still got a couple more days. The games are coming. But, man, the stuff they've been able to enable the teams to do, to the hotels, making sure everyone's got their equipment. They've had some issues with bands, but they save the day all the time. Credit to Cara Group Travel. They are an amazing group.
No, you're right. I'm glad you said that. I really am. And one of the things that stands out to me, like I go to the rink early, as you know, and you get to the rink, everything's set up.
Yep.
There's tea, there's coffee,
it's like going to a pro rink, which it is. Yeah.
But these are college players.
Yeah.
They're not. A lot of these guys aren't used to this.
I know.
And now they're seeing it for the first, unless they've been at development camps in the summer. Anyway.
Right.
But you're right.
Yeah.
And Cara's a big part of this, and the Giants are a big part of it. But the professionalism of the event, it's not just a hockey tournament.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And how about the way they've treated us? I mean, I'm honored.
I just got done doing an interview with the Belfast newspaper, and the one term I keep using, and I'm sure they got tired of hearing me say it, is how grateful you and I are to actually be here.
I love what you said, pilgrimage.
It's a pilgrimage.
Because I feel the same way. It's been that way for me. And I can't wait to come back.
It's not a traditional hockey market.
No.
You agree,
yes.
right? It's not. It's not a traditional hockey market. It's going to become one.
It is.
Because the vision of Robert Fitzpatrick in particular and Stevie Thornton is, how do we get more rinks built?
Yep.
How do we get another team in Ireland?
Grassroots level
how
stuff.
How do we build up the young kids playing? It's not like they're looking past that. It's part of what they want to do.
Yeah.
And so I've never been more encouraged about hockey here. And one of the other things, and this is for people that haven't heard Jimmy and I for a while, or maybe your first time listener or viewer, in 2026, January of 2026, there's going to be a women's event here, and there's going to be 4 teams coming. And they want to make that as successful as what the men's tournament is.
Yep.
And I told them, because they asked me last night, would you come back? And I said, 100%. I will guarantee you that Jimmy and I will be back here in January of 2026.
Anytime they want us, I'm here.
No,
Yeah.
well, you already signed up for it.
I just didn't know.
Remember.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
No, we'll be back next year.
You know, Pierre, too, when you're saying that, I'm thinking, how much does that show just overall in general, how much women's hockey has grown? You know, that some
Growth of women's
over
hockey
an
is
overseas
unbelievable.
tournament wants them. You know, it's great.
I think I sent you the numbers. I don't know if I did or not. I think I did. So I did a research thing about women's hockey, the growth of women's hockey. So USA Hockey, they're really smart. They put out numbers for time. Like, so let's just start in 1996. You see the enrollment for women's hockey. You folks can come in. Don't be shy. Come on in. Come on in. You're more than welcome to come in. But I just want to finish this.
Yep.
So you go look at the growth from 1996 until now, Jimmy, from USA Hockey, of the amount
I can
of
imagine.
women that have registered to play hockey. It's unbelievable. It blows the guys away.
Yeah, it's got to be
so
amazing.
far ahead of the guys. And, you know, I had the good fortune of working a lot of women's hockey camps and watching a lot of these young women get really good at the game. And also all the Olympics that I've done with the women's. And I can tell you right now, like I've met from 1998 to now, the women's game. So that's the first time women play in the Olympics to now. It's unbelievable.
You know what the coolest thing, too, is seeing young
How's
girls.
everybody doing, by the way?
How are we doing, guys? Yep.
Everybody good? Don't be afraid. Good to see you all.
The greatest thing I love too, Pierre, is seeing the kids, like girls,
Well,
saying,
look
"Look
at
at, I can
this.
actually
It's
play
awesome.
hockey.
I know.
Like this is going to be an opportunity
I
for me."
know.
And to see that in their eyes when they go to games, it's something special. But listen, we have another guest coming on.
I know. I'm going to get
And
out.
I just want to show, because we got some Boston kids in the house here, and I'm really honored to have them here. They are part of the Boston and Belfast Youth Empowerment Program. Build bridges, not walls. Look at this, guys. Can you make some noise? Come on. Here we are. They're all going to play tomorrow. And I probably screwed up the camera there. But all right, we good? There we go.
We'll see. Make sure.
Yep, we're
You're
good.
good. Okay.
All right, and
I'm
they are all
checking
going to
out
play in
now.
the
I'm gonna
intermission
check it.
tomorrow, and we're going to bring on one of the founders of it right now. Mr. Stephen Burke's going to join me up here on the stage here at the Heart Bar. Found out we were almost neighbors, actually, in Dedham, in that little area we discussed there. So who knows? Maybe we were. We didn't even realize it. But
Yeah, just a
Steve,
couple
welcome
blocks
to be
away.
here.
Thank you, Murph.
Yeah,
Appreciate
how's the trip been going?
It's been awesome. We got a great group of kids this year, and we've had a very full week of different activities between just fun stuff and educational and interacting with other local Belfast teams. We skated the other night with the Belfast kids, and there's a group of kids over from Cambridge as well.
Oh, cool.
So that was a lot of fun. Today we just went out to up to the Giants Causeway, which was really neat. And tonight we'll be preparing for Thanksgiving dinner over at Belfast Castle.
Yes, that's great. I heard about that. Enjoy. Listen, why don't you give for everybody out there that's not aware of your program, just give them the background, how it started, and how it's continued to build.
Yeah, so the background really goes back to when then Mayor Marty Walsh established a sister city
Great man.
agreement with Belfast.
Yep.
So there was a lot of business to business and higher ed, and other promotional things going back and forth, and they wanted to introduce a youth component. And I had founded a inner city ice hockey program back in '96 called Score
Oh, wow.
Boston. So I sort of just came up with a program on my own, and I knew it had to be more than a hockey trip because we could just go out to New England Sports Center in Marlboro for a hockey trip,
Right.
right? So to add some more and really to get a little more life skills into it, I made sure we added some things like we meet with the Lord Mayor, for example. We met with the Consulate General yesterday. We engaged with the local teens here. We'd had a couple of workshops the other day about empowering young women and empowering young men. And we mixed a lot of fun stuff into, and we get to play hockey as well, which the kids are totally psyched about. So this is the 5th year doing it. And I will tell you, because they're here, because we're very proud of them, all the other coaches that are with us, everywhere we've gone, they've said, what a great group of kids you have, really polite, really intuitive, asking questions, really want to learn. And I couldn't ask for any more than that.
That's great. It must be amazing for you to see how much hockey is growing here. Every year you come back, huh?
Yeah, it's tremendous. And of course, the challenges of hockey here being with limited sheets of ice. We take
That's
for
an
granted.
understatement, unfortunately.
So,
yeah.
like for me in Dedham, I think I have 5 rinks within 5 miles.
Right.
So here, especially the kids from Dublin who want to play, they take a bus up 2 hours each way, just for practice one night.
Wow.
And we heard last weekend the junior Giants went over to Scotland. They had a
That's what I
2.5
heard,
hour
yep.
ferry ride and then a 4.5 hour bus ride.
Wow.
That's just for one away
That's
game.
passion for the game.
Yeah, and you got to give the parents a lot of credit too.
Yep.
But the people at the Odyssey Trust and the Belfast Giants were really smart about using the sport of ice hockey to build these bridges together. Of course, it's not known as a sectarian sport here, which can be divisive in the community. And we're trying to bring that same spirit with what we're doing.
How if there's parents watching at home or kids watching back in the New England area, how do they sign up? How do they apply for this?
So we do have an application process, and so far this is my 5th trip, and I've got kids from just about every neighborhood in Boston represented so far. So from
get some Dorchester.
Dorchester,
the dot. All right, there we go.
So this year, too,
my dad's from there, so I had it.
Okay, we got a big Hyde Park contingent.
Okay, nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
We got South Boston represented. We get Roslindale.
South. There we go.
We get the Rozzy Rat over there. East Boston as well, Charlestown. And one of these families moved out to the burbs. They're in Walpole.
Okay, all right.
They're
they got Boston roots, though.
They got Boston roots, yeah. So it's a real good mix of kids. And again, I rely on recommendations. You have to get recommendations from teachers or principals or coaches or whomever. So it's a selective process, and we really try to get a mix every year, right? A diverse group of kids. And we have programs, too, before we come over here to Belfast. It's not just about the one trip, but they've learned about Irish history before they came over. They did some team-building opportunities back home because they come from different parts of the city, so they don't all know each other. And then they're living in very tight quarters here for a week. So we rent 2 Airbnbs right across the street from each other, which makes it super convenient for transportation.
Who's doing the cooking?
Well, so far we have a couple of young ladies that have done some unbelievable bacon and eggs.
Wow!
And they set a very high bar for the boys.
I'm coming over next year.
Yeah. So it's been good, but it just makes it a lot easier to get up and go in the morning.
Of course.
And, at the end of the night too. So we've mixed it up. We try to do as many local things as we can. We go to the Titanic Belfast tomorrow morning, I believe. And we're going to be going to a hurling demonstration. Queen's University has a club team.
Yep.
So they're going to treat us to a little hurling demo and a little pizza party afterwards before we come back. And then we're playing between first and second periods of the Notre Dame Harvard game.
Wow.
Oh, and yesterday too, we got to go watch the end of the practices. Notre Dame, just as they were finishing up, and all the kids get to give fist bumps to the kids.
That's awesome.
I think the college players liked it as much as our kids did.
Oh, of course.
And same with Harvard coming on. And again, Teddy Donato's a Hyde Park native, so some of the families already knew him, which is just another neat
He's a
connection.
beauty, eh?
Oh, he's a great guy.
He's awesome.
They're all great guys.
Yeah. And how about you? How did you get into hockey?
So I grew up in Dartmouth, Mass, down by New Bedford, Fall River area.
Okay.
And I get into hockey because of Bobby Orr, right? Which just about anyone my age would attest to. We started out with street hockey, and then we grew into ice. I'm one of 6 kids.
Just get the old MDCs and stuff, or no? That was more north, huh?
That was MDCs was north, but they were public rinks down in the area too. So we started out there. My 3 brothers played. My 2 sisters started a club team in high school when there was no girls hockey at all. And now we get all these great young women who are growing with the sport. So I've stayed with it all along, and part of it now is giving back a little bit too. And I was fortunate to have some people that were very supportive of me, and it's easy to do when you see the looks on the kids' faces.
This is awesome.
And how they're just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, and we got a lot of Bruins fans here. Yeah, all right. I know it's a tough year so far, but you got to keep cheering them on. Keep cheering them on. Who are some of the favorite players here? Who do we guys like? McAvoy, Marchands, or what? Coyle, Swayman. All right, Swayman's a rich man now. He could pay for this whole trip with a month of his contract now, huh?
I think he needs his D to step up a little bit.
Yeah. But they'll turn it around. Well, listen, it's a pleasure having you here. We really appreciate it. It's awesome to meet you too. I'm glad you came up to me. Like when you told me that story, I'm like, Pierre, we got to get them down here and have them on. So it goes along with the whole theme of unity, and that's what we're trying to do here. We've been here for 3 days now here in Belfast, so it's a pleasure to meet you. We're gonna definitely pump you up. If you ever need anything, let me know.
Please do, and I will give a shout out too to the folks at the Odyssey Trust and the Belfast Giants.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're the ones who really came up with this whole concept, and they named it Friendship for a reason, and that's what it's all about. And you'll notice in the championship game, they don't get a trophy, they ring a bell.
Yep.
And that's a nod to education. So we'll work that in. If I could show off our logo.
Oh, yeah.
We got the bell logo in there too.
Yep.
So we do a little bit of take.
Are you guys on social at all?
Yeah, we're on Instagram.
Okay, send me the links. I'll pump it up.
Okay,
for sure.
We really appreciate that. And I came over to you because, once you see his famous face, you want to go meet him in person. So,
That was Pierre, not me. Hey, good meeting my friend.
All right, thank
hey,
you, Jim.
kids, good luck, all right? Thank you for coming down. We appreciate it. Boston and Belfast Youth Empowerment Program. Build bridges, not walls. And again, I will tweet some information for anyone that wants to learn more about it
Awesome.
on Murphy's Law 74. It was awesome. What a great idea, and I'm glad it's worked out so well. It's good to have them here.
One of the gentlemen I just met, his roommate at Notre Dame was Pete Babakwa. That was my boss at NBC.
We were just talking about him the other day.
No.
Yeah, small
Amazing
world.
how it happens, right?
Wow, and over here in Belfast, you meet.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
It's
pretty
good stuff.
Yeah,
That's
all
great.
good.
So yeah, we
Way to go,
appreciate it.
everybody. Way to go.
Thanks for having me. All right, so here we go, Pierre. Let's get down to some NHL talk right now because, like I said,
Yikes.
no Bernie Corbett.
Are the Bruins fans going to be
They-
angry?
Well, like I
got a win
said,
last night.
they got to win last night, right? They'll come back, guys. Guys, good luck tomorrow too. Have fun.
Have fun.
All right, that's a great program there
great
too. And
time,
like I said, I'll
everybody.
put that up on Twitter, Murphy's Law 74. You can find the info there. Pierre, a team that we've talked about quite a bit this week, just can't seem to get out of this negativity circle right now. The New York Rangers, and it's just they're like stuck in quicksand. That's the feeling I get.
This all started last summer.
Yep, like you said, yes, yeah,
We talked about
Yeah.
this last summer.
I know.
So when they said to Jacob Trouba, we want you to waive your no trade contract, if they couldn't trade him, what do you think was going to happen in their dressing room
I
when
know.
they couldn't trade him?
Yeah.
You
And
think
that's your
he's really
captain.
comfortable? That's your captain.
Yeah.
You think he's really comfortable
No.
being there?
No.
And what about all this? So who's leaking the stuff about Chris Kreider? Somebody's leaking.
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
You think he's happy about that?
No. Chris Kreider, he's the
And what
longest
about
tenured
all-
player, is he not?
Yeah, 13 years. And
Yeah.
what do you think they think about taking runs at Mika Zibanejad? You think they're happy about that?
Pierre,
I don't get it. I don't know what happened here. This thing was going the right way.
it really was.
They had a great coach, Peter Laviolette, Rhode Island,
Yep.
Massachusetts guy. They got a great assistant coach, Michael Pekka. They
Uh-huh.
got a Hall of Famer in Phil Housley. Like their staff's good.
Yeah. Great management staff.
Drury's good. Like,
Yeah.
Hobie Baker winner, BU, kid who grew up in Connecticut. Like all New, they got everything set up the way it's supposed to be. And I don't know how this thing got off the track, but it's off the track.
And you're in such a big sports market like that, and the spotlight's always on. And now, they're just honing in. As a coach and a manager, Pierre, I don't know if you can remember times where maybe a team you were with was in a situation like that. How do you navigate through it? Like,
It's hard.
I mean, there seems to be so many minds waiting for you to step on right now,
You know what most players will tell you? Just be honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
So they may not like what you say,
Mm-hmm.
but they prefer that you say, you know what, Jimmy, I'm not happy with you.
Yeah.
But you look them in the eye and tell them that.
Uh-huh.
Or rather than say, Jimmy, you're such a good guy. I think the world
And then
of
go
it."
behind their
And then
back
go behind their back.
or leak
and
it to the
give-
media.
Yeah, and give it to them.
Yep.
They don't like that. That's what creates dysfunction in
Mhm.
organizations. It really does. It truly does. And I remember doing that. I don't know what episode it was with you, but you and I both said this is not healthy.
No.
If he doesn't get traded, they're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And he didn't get traded, and now they got a problem.
And I got to say, too, Pierre, I mean, as we say we'll do all the time, we were a little wrong about the Metro Division is a little stronger than we thought it would be so far. So teams that maybe the Rangers weren't counting on for challenging them for playoff position. Washington,
and Jersey,
we thought Carolina was going to
It
drop.
slipped, it
Carolina's
slipped.
rolling, man. I
they're,
mean,
they're rolling
and
right
they
now.
beat
They
'em
got
last
injuries-
night.
No,
Yeah.
they got injuries in goal.
Yep.
And they're still rolling. You're spot on.
Yep.
I think it's a lot of that's about Brindamore.
Mm.
Like I don't know how much you guys watch Carolina, but Rod Brindamore is as good a coach as there
He's
is
such
in
a
National
coach.
Hockey
What a
League.
motivator.
He's really good.
I don't know if these kids know. I know we've talked about it a couple times, Pierre, but tell that story just about finding working
So
out.
I always go to the rink early, and even here in Belfast, I go early. And one day it's probably like 7:15 in the morning. I walk into the rink in Washington. It's a playoff game that I'm working that afternoon, actually. And all of a sudden, I hear by the visitors' dressing room, I hear this loud, things are hitting the floor. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's really upset. There's something going wrong. And I walk back, and it's dark, and there's music playing, and it's Rod Brindamore doing deadlifts. The coach of the Carolina Hurricanes,
The coach,
at 7:15 in the morning, just lifting weights and dropping them on the floor. And I'm like, well, this is good.
But what does that do for
The
the team,
intensity
the
of the
players to
team.
see the coach do that, to know, okay, that's the level I have to take it to, right?
Yeah, no, he's at another level. You know what's an awesome story about them? Jeff Daniels is one of the assistant coaches, and Timmy Gleason's another one. Nobody even in the league knows who they are. And I can tell you firsthand, I had the privilege of coaching Jeff Daniels in Pittsburgh, and I watched Timmy Gleason.
He was
such a
hard-nosed player, man. Oh, I liked him.
And, like, these are guys, they just all get their roles.
Yep.
So they got everybody knows. Rod's the boss.
Yep.
Jeff works with the forwards. Timmy works with the D. We're doing this, and let's go.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing staff. They're a fantastic
and the type,
staff.
and when you just mentioned what type of players they were too, that rubs off. I mean,
Well,
like
Jeff
when
was smart. So Scotty Bowman and I used to call Jeff Daniels Mini Bob Gainey because he played in Peterborough like Bob.
that's
did.
high praise.
He wasn't as good, obviously, but we used to call him the Mini Bob Gainey because it's such good hockey sense, and he wasn't as big. Obviously.
I don't know if these kids are old enough to remember Bob Gainey.
Go
Pierre,
Google number 23
go Google
for
him.
Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Bob Gainey.
Yeah. He had a couple Stanley Cups there. We got a lot of Bruins fans here. That's a sore spot. And I hate to say it, but that's the next team I want to talk about, Pierre, because they went in off a loss on a back-to-back. And as we continue to tell fans out there, an underrated and hard place to play in Columbus, and they get a good gutsy overtime win last night.
Wow.
I like that for them right now. I mean, I think that team, with the way things have been going, that helps.
Which team are you talking about?
The Montreal Canadiens?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Boston.
No. We're not going there yet because that's a sore spot right now.
Montreal showed a lot of courage last night to go to Columbus.
Yep.
Columbus playing really well.
Yeah.
They're playing really well. The one thing I'd say about Montreal, they understand where they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
They understand where they are as an organization. There's been no panic from Jeff Gordon. There's been no panic from Kent Hughes. There's no panic from ownership. And a rebuild only works if ownership endorses
stays with
management
it and stays with it.
And they've endorsed it. And
Yep.
I know people, that's where I'm from.
Yep.
And my wife is there now. My mom is there. I get the market probably as well as most people. I get it's a hard market, but the owner hasn't caved.
Yeah.
So he's going to support this.
And, I'm thinking as you're saying this, Pierre, we were just talking about the Rangers and having to deal with all that outside noise. Montreal obviously is in one of the toughest markets, and they've had a lot of outside noise. I give credit to the players as well. They seem to have blocked it out and stayed focused.
So they needed Slavkovsky to get going, and he did last night.
Yep.
He had a heck of a game. Lane Hudson still hasn't scored a goal yet.
But he's doing everything else.
Lane Hudson had a huge assist on a game-winning goal last night. He's playing fantastic hockey. By the way, you children and most of the adults, Boston, Lane Hudson at Boston University, I haven't seen too many defensemen in college hockey like him. I would say the last guy I saw that was like him was Brian Leach, and maybe some of you know him, maybe you don't. Brian Leach played at Boston College. Brian Leach in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. That's the last
Just go to
guy I saw
YouTube, kids, and
that
watch the
just
highlights on
dominated.
him right
Yeah.
now. The way he skates, the way he can go in and out of defense, it's amazing. So
I
he's
would
a
just
great
say
player to
Lane,
watch.
Lane is. I'm not saying he's as good as Brian. I'm
Yeah.
not. But I saw there are a lot of similarities.
Yep.
I'm a Leach. I drop game plans to Leach, so I kind of know. But no, Lane is special.
Cool
He
little
was.
stat I saw too flying around was that Cole Caulfield, who switched his number to 13 in
Yes,
honor of Johnny
Johnny
Gaudreau,
Gaudreau.
squared his 13th goal in Columbus. I thought that was a
That's
cool little
great.
stat
Good for
there.
you for bringing it
Yeah.
up. I agree, Jimmy.
So,
100%.
but Pierre, I mean, that's a team, like we say, good for them. They understand, like you said at the beginning of the conversation here, they understand where they're at and they keep navigating through. I want to go back. We mentioned it before we brought the guests on, the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
And I think this is a team we both agree. We consider them to be a legit Stanley Cup contender.
100%.
I know a lot of people that have them coming out of West, but they're starting to show some flaws here. And, you always used to say about goalies, when all of a sudden they start getting beat, you always say the book is out. Is the book out right now in Dallas?
No.
Okay.
No. One of the hardest things about the league right now, I think, is just maintaining consistency.
Mhm.
Dallas is in that little rut right now where they're kind of down. They'll bounce back. They'll get up. They've had some guys overachieve to start. Like Matty Duchesne had an amazing start to the year. Tyler Sagan, a former Bruin, had an amazing start. Like some of these guys had Jamie Benn. They all had.
And as
awesome
you said, they
starts
have one of the
year.
most underrated and unknown defensemen in
Miro,
the league.
Miro Heiskanen, and I would be curious, how many people here know who Miro Heiskanen is? Like, not a
Oh,
lot
good
of
for
hands.
them,
We
though.
got-
Good
we
for
got
them.
two, right?
Yeah.
2 out of
3,
the
4.
3.
No,
Yeah,
let's
so
get
we-
4. Yeah.
He's probably best defenseman in the league. Nobody even knows exists.
Yeah. If he was in a big city spot like New York or
Don't say
Montreal.
Dallas is in a big
No.
city because you're going to get us
No,
in
for
trouble.
hockey wise, it's not.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're right. If he was in Boston, if he was in New York or Montreal or Toronto or Vancouver, yes, I agree. That being said, he's special.
He is.
He's really special.
So this is just the bumps of a season then
I
to
think
you.
it's 82 games and stuff.
I got you.
And you know how good the coach is. Pete DeBoer's really good.
He is. Really good. All right. Well, listen, we got to go to the Q&A here right now because they're lining up right now in our Q&A. And if you guys here have any questions, hockey questions about the Bruins or anything, I'm going to go to you.
Bruins,
I'm going to call to you in a bit. We're just going to take the people that are lining up here on YouTube, and then we'll go to you to close the show out. All right. All right. So let me talk about Betway, though, first, our wonderful sponsor. Feel the action with Betway right now. And listen to this. You get, Pierre, a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. So they're giving away money to you even if you lose. That's a pretty good deal. Scan the QR code. Go on the screen right in front of you right now. If you're not watching, go to the site and sign up there. Of course, always be 18 plus or over and bet responsibly. Right now, if you go to the site, you can link the details section to create an account and redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers only. Terms and conditions apply. Offer not available in Ontario. All right. Lost the parlay last night, Pierre.
Because you went one too far. You went a bridge too far.
You said I should have done a trio, huh?
Three,
all right, that's
four.
what we'll stick with. But there's
far.
no games tonight. So my Murph pick of the day. Let's go to that graphic right now for Murph's sick pick of the day, and then I'll give it to you.
It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by Betway.
My Murph pick, sick pick, I should say, of the day are these guys right in front of us, and the Belfast players they're going to play with tomorrow. That's the pick of the day for tomorrow.
Are they playing against the Belfast?
No, you guys are teaming up with Belfast players, right? You're merging?
So there's no animosity there.
Exactly. It's all about uniting here. It's all about uniting. So they're my pick, the Boston and Belfast crew. We're happy to have you here. All right, let's get to the questions here on YouTube, and then we'll go to our friends right here in front of us. All right, what do we got for questions, guys? Sound the siren. What's up, buddy? Question, what is your favorite part of the turkey? I'm a breast man myself. I'm very happily married. Safe travels, guys.
Go ahead.
You know, I take after. I was actually talking to your daughter, Justine McGuire, who's here again, who's been a wonderful help to us this week. Set up that great show at the Harry Lemon in Dublin. I was talking to her about my grandmother who lived to 98. And hey, she used to love the brown meat, got me onto it. I hope I can live that long because of that brown meat. That's my favorite part.
I like it all. My daughter will tell you, I eat the whole thing. I love turkey.
You know what?
Turkey's like my favorite thing to eat. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. I almost used to like Thanksgiving. As I got older, I like Thanksgiving better than Christmas. I love it.
We used to have turkey at Thanksgiving and also at Christmas.
Right.
I remember when I was a kid, we were living in Canada, but we always celebrated both Thanksgiving. So it's good. So we have October 10th, November, I think.
Usually late week, third late,
25th to 27th. And then Christmas Day, we had 3.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And one of my favorite things, and it was great. And we were talking about you doing these games and broadcasting them, the day games on Black Friday. Yeah. I used to love when I wasn't working, if I didn't have to cover the game, the leftover sandwiches, the stuffing, the cranberry sauce, and the turkey, and just smush it together.
I didn't get to do that, Jimmy. I was working the day after. You
would have been sleeping. Exactly.
Except in the old Boston Garden where they would drop the heated coins down my back. And they'd be burning my back. And I'd say to my trainer, like, what's going on? So you got a hot penny behind your back.
The fans did this to him at the old Boston Garden, guys. All right.
Second gallery, they drop it down.
Next question. What do we got? Ron LaRoque, Jimmy and Pierre, has Boston lost or losing their identity since Bergeron retired? I think so. I wouldn't say fully, but it's happening.
No, it's not just Bergeron. Don't forget Chara left.
Zdeno Chara.
Don't forget Mark Recchi left. Don't forget that Tyler Seguin. Like, you start looking at guys that have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Pye has moved on. Gregory King. I know they retire. I get it. You know, David Krejci. You start. Those are hard guys to replace.
Yeah. And sooner or later it was going to happen.
And I'm not trying to open up a wound. They had 3 first-rounders in 2015, and they missed.
Period. And
it's hard to replace. When you get 3 first-rounders, you got to hope 2 out of the 3 hit hard. And
I think, too, what you saw, too, Pierre, and we discussed it with, the free agent signings they made this summer, it's when you start to lose that trademark identity, now you're going into the market looking for it's not coming from within anymore. And that's hard to really go out there
Very
because,
good point.
unless you have amazing pro scouting, you've had people that have played with the players you're signing, it's tough. You don't know.
That's a great point.
All right, next question. Ron LaRoque. Pierre, you explained the hybrid system to us. Do you have to be intelligent or fast to play it, or both? As it's been pointed out, Montreal isn't fast. Does MSL, Marty St. Louis, abandon the concept for now?
They've started to a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to close in the neutral zone a little better for Montreal. And
Yep.
by doing that, it makes it a harder game for the offensive team to attack. So they're denying access to the zone. And then the thing they had to do, and they're doing it way better, from the top of the circle to the icing line, they've taken away time and space better.
Yep.
So they are getting better. They're reading and reacting quicker. I just think it's still a work in progress.
Yep.
But I think they're coaching it much better.
That's another thing nobody's giving Marty St. Louis credit for too. They're, early in the season when they were getting lit up in a lot of games and just giving up too many odd man rushes, as you just pointed out, that's diminished now. They're starting to really get that out of their system, and he did a great job adapting, and good on them to buy in.
I just think the ultimate thing with Montreal, and I know we got a big Boston crew here, but the big thing with Montreal is just stay the course.
Yep.
Don't panic. Don't get bullied by the media. Don't get bullied by social media in particular. Stay the course, because next year, hopefully Demidov's there.
Yep.
Michael Hayes is probably going to be there. The development,
A healthy
of Owen,
line.
the development of Owen Beck.
Yep.
I know he was -3 last night, but it doesn't matter in the
Yep.
American League game. Like, stuff happens,
Yeah.
They got guys coming.
Jacob Fowler.
They got Jacob Fowler coming out of Boston College.
Yep.
You
guys seen Jacob Fowler play yet? He's a good goalie. Oof.
So, there's a lot going on that's really positive there. You just don't change. Don't
Yep.
get bullied by this whole thing. And I think they'll stay the course. They do.
All right, next question. Mike, Pierre, we all see what Slav can do when the puck is on his stick. The issue for him is moving his feet to get that puck. How do you install that in his
I'll
head?
tell you how. I wish Christopher Pronger was on here. I can tell you right now. When we were fortunate enough to draft Chris Pronger in Hartford, I called Scotty Bowman up and I said, "Scotty, how'd you coach Larry Robinson?" And he told me. So every day in practice, I'd skate behind Pronger and whack him with my stick and say, "Get moving, you're too slow."
Yep.
And the rest is history. Like, Chris was an amazing player, Hockey Hall of Fame player. I'd get somebody on my staff and just get behind him and kept hitting him with a stick. Get going, Slav.
Yep.
Get going. We didn't have to do that with Yager. When we had Yager in Pittsburgh, he was just such a workaholic.
He's a rarity.
He was a very unique player.
Yeah.
But, I skated, as you know, lots of hours with him, and he was an unbelievable self-motivator. I think Slav can be like that.
I think quickly, if we can't tell the kids about the weight story with him going up and down the stairs,
so
going back and forth.
You guys probably see all these players running up and down the stairs. That all started with Jaromir Jagr back in 1990, and he used to wear a weight vest before the game.
On his shoulder and around his waist.
Be like, this guy's never going to make it through 82 games. Like, what's he doing? He's 18 years old doing this. Sure enough, not only did he make it through, he won 2 Stanley Cups in his first 2 years in the league. And he went on to be, obviously, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. But
because he's still playing over in Czech.
He's over 50 years of age.
Yeah.
He's still playing. But when he's done playing, he will be in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
And guys, I've told Pierre this story because I was unaware of all this. In 2013 playoff run that the Bruins had, they made it to the final that year. Yar goes on the Bruins. So I think it was game 5 of the second round against the Rangers, maybe I want to say. And, I finished my story. It takes about 2 hours to write the story after you get quotes and everything. And I just go. Sometimes I like to sit in the stands after the game when it's quiet and just take it in. And the lights are dim. And there's Jagr doing that with the weights going end to end on the ice, back and forth, skating. I mean, the guy's a madman. God bless him. Yeah. That's why he's still playing.
Right now, he goes to Maryland Muse Fantasy Camp. He was there last spring. I work at that camp, and 70 people from around the world come, and they spend a lot of money to go. They're adults, obviously, and it's a fantasy camp. Except when Yarmer's on the ice, it's not a fantasy.
He's hardcore.
He's hardcore. He wants to win, and he makes it really hard on those guys. It's amazing to watch.
Great stuff. What's our next question? Ron LaRoque. What's up, Ron? Where do you think the compete level went for Montreal? Last year when they were down, they still competed. I think it's coming back, Ron. Yeah, I'm seeing more of it.
I wouldn't prejudge anything with them. I think they're kids trying to find their way. They're trying to change the system a little bit. I still think they're working.
All right, next question. Mike, I have not watched much of the Islanders, but apparently fans were chanting for Lou to get fired. What do you think the issue with that team is? Yeah, you referenced that earlier, Pierre.
Well, we talked about it this
Yeah.
summer. The roster's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
They've not one of their best players is not healthy, Matt Barzell. I think, they had a coaching change last year that doesn't make it very easy, and I just think they're disjointed right now because their farm team's in last place too in the American Hockey League. So
they don't really have an identity, Pierre. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Disjointed, and that's not what. And I call him Coach out of respect,
Okay.
Coach Lamorello, who I think is just a hockey icon.
He used to coach at Providence College, for those who don't know. Yeah.
And he built the New Jersey Devils up to what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of the man, not just the hockey person, but the man. He's 83 years of age. I just tell you, they're disjointed right now. They are. That's just what they are.
From what you know of Patrick, what do you think's going on with him right now, trying to get through this?
No,
do you think he's doing okay?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think Patty's done a good job there.
We're talking about Patrick Roy, by the way.
I think the big thing is he's got Jacques Lemaire to lean on too, because wherever Coach Lamorello goes, Jacques goes too.
Smart.
And Jacques the best, I think, outside of Scotty Bowman, Jacques the best coach that we've had in the NHL for a long time.
Yep.
So I think that helps Patty too.
We're going to come to you in 1 sec. All right.
We're
We're going to take 3 more here, and then we're going to go to live questions from these wonderful kids here from my neck of the woods in Boston. What do we got? What's our next question? Sound the siren. Question. Columbus has a group of young talent and will be reckoned with soon. Yes. Glad you've been watching. Marchenko, Fantelli, Voronkov. I love what they have long-term. Sound the siren. Great point there. As we said, they're a scrappy bunch. It's a tough place to play. That's why we gave the Canadiens credit. Pierre, this is a team that's in the right direction.
Yeah, Kent Johnson's another guy that comes to mind. I think of Owen Sillinger is another player that comes to mind. They got a lot of young guys coming. Christensen on defense, another good young player. They got stuff coming. Columbus is going to be good.
And Zach Rowinski having arguably one of the best seasons of his career. He's been amazing.
I hope our friend Billy Guerin and his staff are watching that.
Yep.
He's going to be on the Forward Nation Team USA. He should be.
He deserves it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel bad because I'm a Brendan Gallagher guy, and Brendan fought Werenski last night, and that didn't end up too good for Brendan. And I can tell you, I've been watching Werenski play for a long time before he got in the NHL. And I never saw that side of him. And I saw it last night.
He's not known for it. Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
All right, next question. Pizza 603. Happy Thanksgiving, Jimmy and Pierre. Are we going to hear you boys sing some pub songs? Hopefully not for everybody here.
Not for me, for sure. Might be Jimmy.
Maybe later after dinner tonight. We'll see, but not right now. But thank you. All right, one more here from YouTube, and then we're going to – oh, wait a minute. I think we might be done. That's it. All right. Who wants to ask some questions here? What's your name?
So I'm going to jump over to Boston. How do you both feel over the move of Ullmark and the firing of Montgomery?
Okay, so the question is, how do we feel about them trading Linus Ullmark and the firing of Jim Montgomery? I'll start with the most recent one. I think Jim Montgomery, plain and simple, was a scapegoat. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way things went down there. Good on him that he got a job right away. I'm happy for him. He's 2-0 as St. Louis Blues coach. As for Ullmark, Pierre and I have said this a lot. We think you hold on to him until you get Swayman signed. I think that was a big mistake. You gave all the leverage to Swayman and his agent, and that's why I think that holdout happened. So great question there.
Yeah, and the other part on the Ullmark thing, not to beat it up, there's a goalie market. Like there are other teams that need goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know people say, well, he wasn't going to waive his no trade. Trust me, when you're in the summer and you're a goalie and you know you're going to be the backup.
And you know the team wants you out?
Yeah, they want you out. There's going to be a market for you. Don't worry.
It just seemed like a rush process. I didn't understand
the process. I really did not like the
Great
process.
question. Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with NIL, with an NCAA ranks, and of course we're here for an NCAA tournament. And there was a recent decision to allow some of the Canadian juniors to come out and compete in the NCAA. And I'm just interested to hear your take if we're going down a slippery slope there, or if you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, or what direction it's headed.
Pierre, I'll let you take this one first.
The NIL.
The question was what we think of the NCAA CHL agreement.
The NIL, you're
and
never
NIL.
going to be able to go away from it because it's a football carryover, basketball carryover. It's going to be in hockey. I don't want to talk about too many schools, but there's certain TV schools that you see a lot on TV. They're just rolling in cash. And so what they're doing, they're using that cash to NIL, non-revenue sports in particular, to get better players. And then that's kind of what they're doing. It's okay. I get that part of it. So I don't think that'll be a slippery slope. The major junior thing, I think, is actually going to be beneficial for players, and it's going to be beneficial for schools. And I'll tell you why. most people can't play college hockey till they're 20. In junior hockey in Canada, when you get to be 20 years old, you're done. You age out. So most of those guys that age out that don't sign pro contracts, they're going to be able to come to the United States now and play, whether it's at BC, BU, Northeastern, University of Maine, Quinnipiac, you name wherever. So I think it's going to create more educational opportunities. And I think it's going to make the college game actually, even though it's great right now, it'll probably make it better. I've been getting phone calls from so many different colleges asking me, can you set me up in this part of major junior? Can you help me in that? Because that's how I made my living for so many years, being involved with all these different programs. So I actually think the major junior thing's not as big a deal. This past Sunday before I came here, Jimmy knows the story. I won't tell you the player's name. I spent probably 40 minutes with a player and his family out at a college in Amherst, Mass. He's playing major junior right now. He's 16 years of age. And he knows, and the family knows, he can't play college now, but they want to make sure he has a landing spot when he gets to 18 or 19. And I always use this as an example just to back the point up. And Jimmy knows it, and I apologize for being repetitive. Brady Tkachuk, when he was a freshman, his draft year at BU, had 8 goals. He had 8 goals. He was playing with Jordan Greenway, who still plays in the NHL. That was his line mate. Right now, if you look at Brady Tkachuk the next year on a non-playoff team in Ottawa, he went from 8 goals to 23 goals in the NHL. So it shows you that 17 and 18-year-olds have a hard time. Not everybody's Macklin Celebrini. Not everybody's Jonathan Taves. They're just not. So I'm saying because of what's gone on with the college and major junior situation, it's actually going to make college hockey better.
I echo everything he says there. The only negative I'm worried about, Pierre, is some of these schools that might not be able to keep up with it. We saw what happened just now with AIC.
That's fair.
That's the only negative I'm worried about. But everything Pierre just said, I totally agree with.
So one of the things I think is going to happen in college hockey, and I've talked to a bunch of different commissioners about this in college hockey, TV revenue has to grow. You see what it is in football. You see what it is in basketball in particular. So one of the thoughts, and it's just a thought, it's way preliminary, is that you try to do a midweek national broadcast of a college game. So you play BU and BC, you play Northeastern and University of Maine. You get and then you try to grow it so that you maybe do 2 games a week. Maybe you do a Monday night when Monday Night Football's done, and maybe you do a Friday night. And so if they can do that and start to get real TV money in, I think that can help deal with what Jimmy talked about. If they don't, I think that's when it becomes that slippery slope that Jimmy was talking about.
All right. Anyone else? Justine McGuire.
What advice would you give any young player when it comes to emerging as leaders on and off the ice, and also honing in their athletic skills to keep growing the game?
Question here from Justine McGuire is, what advice would we give to players to improve their leadership skills on and off the ice and improve the game in general? Pierre, you're the coach. You take this.
No, but you go about growing the game, and then I'll go forward from there.
I think something like exactly what you're doing right now. You're here, you're overseas, working with another hockey community. I think stuff like that needs to be done more. I love it. I want to see more teams working together with a community that they're not familiar with. Of course, you're going to see you go state to state, or maybe you go up to Canada, but to do something like this where you come to Europe, I think that's huge. And this is going to be invaluable to you guys as you get older. So I like something like that.
A lot of people ask, are leaders born or are they made? And everybody's got their own opinion. I personally think leaders grow into leadership. Who mentors you? How do you choose to live your life? How are your parents? Do you interact well with your teammates? Do you learn from your teachers? All that stuff, I think, grows leadership. And so I've been really fortunate in my career playing with guys that I really respect who are leaders, or in my coaching career in particular, being mentored by the late Bob Johnson, being mentored by Scotty Bowman, being mentored by Joe Marsh, being mentored by Steve Sterling. I can go down the line, all these different people that I've worked for who have taught me so much about the leadership component. So to Justine's point, I think if you're a young player and you see somebody that you think, wow, that's for me, Learn from them.
Yeah.
Read about
Don't be
them.
afraid to ask questions.
There's no stupid questions. They're none.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing, and this is just me, because I was fortunate. My parents really put a number on education. You can't learn enough in school.
Yep.
You can't learn enough in school, and this is part of school. I always told my kids. My daughter was a Division I rower and had a chance to be an Olympian until she got hurt. And my son plays at Northeastern, a Division I school, as a scholarship athlete. And I tell them all the time when they were kids growing up, this is part of the classroom. Going to the rink, going to the boathouse, going to learn sports, that's where you learn. The ultimate test of a person's character and leadership quality is give them a little disappointment and see how they react. And I think that that's an important part of the life lesson from sports, because nobody wins every game. So there's times we've got to get off the mat and bounce back. And the great leaders know how to do that. So you study what the great leaders do.
And just so you know, and Scotty Bowman, for you guys who don't know, as a player, as a coach, and in part of management staffs, is it 18 or 19 Stanley Cups?
That's a lot.
18, I think it is. 18 Stanley Cup rings he has, guys. So Pierre was very lucky to have someone like that. I'm lucky to have someone like Pierre as well. So always absorb, go up to people, ask questions. Don't be afraid.
Yep.
Next question.
Yeah.
Boss. Okay, so the question is, what were the Bruins' issues in the last 2 years, especially last year as well? I think it was a combination of things. I think the year when we'll go back 2 years. I think the year when they had that amazing regular season and they were breaking records, and they like, I think they locked up a playoff spot in like early March, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard sometimes when you don't have something to play for, or you're not battling in playoff mode down the stretch, and then you face a team like the Florida Panthers who just made it in as an 8th seed, and they were already full out in playoff mode. I think the Bruins got caught off guard by that, and I think that it's tough. So, Pierre and I have had this conversation before where it's the coach's job to kind of create that mentality that you're still battling for a playoff spot, and just to keep that competition going in practice, and really don't let it slip at all, because when you get to the playoffs, it's anyone's game, as you saw that year, and we've seen so many times. 8 seeds can take it all the way to the final, like the Panthers did. As far as last year went, I think running into the Panthers again, I think that's a bad matchup for this Bruins roster as they're constructed. I know this year they tried to get bigger, but it hasn't worked yet. But I think the size, the physicality was a tough thing there too. And I think the Panthers were just a team on a mission. That's what I think happened last year.
I agree with everything that Jimmy just said. The one thing I'd add is that playoff hockey is really different than regular season hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people get hoodwinked, especially when you have a team like Boston was 2 years ago that everybody, they're going all the way. No, it's a different brand of hockey. I've been part of drawing up a lot of game plans to win playoff series, and you'd be surprised at the different scenarios that are presented. So I don't think the Bruins as a group were prepared to play against Florida in a playoff series 2 years in a row. They didn't learn their lesson last year from the year before.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why maybe there's a different coaching situation in Boston right now.
All right. Any more questions? Go right. Oh, you haven't asked one yet. We'll let it.
That Austin Matthews becoming captain of the league,
There we go.
I thought it was handled so well by John Tavares. I thought it was happened really well by upper management and the coaching staff. I think it helped that they brought in a new coach, Craig Berube, so there was kind of a seamless transition. It's interesting. They've had 9 games now without Austin. 9 games. They've won 7 of 9.
Yeah.
They've won 7 of 9 without Austin. I think part of that is because they have a new coach. Part of that's because John Tavares handled it so well. And part of it is Mitchell Marner has taken his game to another level because he realizes that Austin's been out. Austin's an amazing leader. He's a really wholesome person. I think he'll do a great job as a captain of Toronto.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see him on the USA stage at the Four Nations. You want to ask now?
Would you say that the Bruins focus more on the regular season than playoffs, and how it's like the opposite of the Panthers are?
Yeah, just like we were just saying, totally agree. And I think one thing, like Pierre was just saying, and Pierre would know better because he coached, but the game tightens up so much, guys. It really just, the ice becomes smaller. It's hard to get space out there. And I think sometimes teams fail to adapt to that and change, okay, we can't play the way we've been playing that got us here. We have to change. So I think it was failure to adapt was one of the biggest things.
All I'm going to say about playoff hockey is it's a nasty business.
Yep.
It's not about milk and cookies. It's a nasty, nasty business. And, players that adjust to that nasty side sooner usually has more success than the guys that don't.
I'd say, too, just in my opinion, I'm not just saying it because I work in hockey, but I think out of all the playoffs in pro sports, Stanley Cup playoffs are the toughest. It's literally a war of attrition. Like, the fact that they can go for 2 months, maybe sometimes a little more, and you're going deep into the summer, it's amazing to me that these guys can do that. And the physical side of it that they can endure is simply amazing to me.
It really, truly is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any more questions, guys? We're going to close it up. If not, all right. Well, we apprate you coming down. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Have fun tomorrow. All right. Go get them. Make Boston proud. All right.
You guys are outstanding.
All right. That's the Boston and Belfast group here. They will be playing in the intermissions at the SSE Arena here at the Friendship 4 tomorrow. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the games now, Pierre. They are finally here. It's been a week of leading up to it. We've watched some practices. We've done these shows, but tomorrow it is game time, Pierre.
I can't wait for Turkey tonight.
Oh, I can't either. Again, thanks.
I'm really looking forward to the game.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Good luck to you.
Thank you. The first game's at 2:00 Ireland time,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll go forward from there. But this has been an amazing week, Jimmy. You've done an
Thanks for being
You've
YouTube.
done an outstanding job.
I've loved it. I want to thank the staff here at the Heart Bar, Sean, Rory, Ronan, his dad. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet Willie, but Willie, if you're listening, you see this, thank you for hosting us here. Thanks to Justine for setting up the Harry Lemon down in Dublin, and to Michael. What a great time down there. Thanks to our hotels we stayed at, the Hyatt Centric in Dublin, and now the AC Marriott here in Belfast. Thank you so much to Cara Group Travel. As I said earlier, Sarah Stanton, she is amazing. What a great group they have there. Good luck to you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
And Pierre, this is just, it's been an amazing experience. I've been trying to, I don't know if I can put it into words yet, but I've been writing down notes of the experience, and we put it together and maybe post a little something next week, or maybe on the plane ride home on Saturday.
You did a great job. This is not an easy trip. You hit the ground running. It's your first time here. It's really, you did a good job. Great job, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing to me is to see how they're using hockey as a vehicle to bring the community together.
Yep.
We don't have to deal with that a lot. We just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see it here.
Yeah.
Like, I walk down the street a lot, and I don't always walk down, as you know, I took you last night.
Yeah.
I walked down some of the dark streets, too, and I showed you.
Yeah.
And no problems.
Nope. It's great. This city's done a great job. There's great restaurants, great pubs. I'll give a shout out too. I've been going every day.
We're coming back next
year,
I've been going every day
before the show, getting a sandwich at this place right down the street here called Time. They were laughing at me when I came in today, saying, "Who's this guy?" But hey, you always got to find your regular spots at a new city you go to. That's what I did when I went to Montreal, and I did that here. So I will be back, Belfast. Thanks to our crew in Montreal. Shane's been with us the whole time. He's done an amazing job putting everything together. Thanks to Aniello for the equipment he provided here. It was great. And we are off to an amazing Thanksgiving dinner and then the Friendship 4 tomorrow. For the final time this year from Belfast, he's Pierre McGuire. I'm Jimmy Murphy. This has been another edition of the Eye Test and the Sick Podcast Network. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.